Okay, we're going to think outside the box again, folks. Always remember, I'm usually filming in the same spot, same low perspective. Um, Mainly, the only difference is sometimes I'll shift over to one side a little bit from that corner, but that corner is usually where I like to be. Um, but I also wanted to show where my cameras are, the height of my cameras, which you'll see here. They're low perspective, like always. I got them down at the lowest setting. Um, Now the tide's a little lower on this particular day than it was the other day, but yet my and the footage that you're going to see is from the P1000, not the B700. I'll be using the um, P1000 to shoot these islands, um, and at this time that I was filming, I was on the sun, but prior to this, I was filming those islands at the same height. Um, but as you'll see coming up here shortly, uh, again, people want to think that I change my height of my camera. I don't. This is at that height. I sped this up 5 times the speed just to slow down the time, or speed it up so where this video wouldn't be that long, because this was a real crappy day of visibility for me. Um, so I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time um, on this particular video, but I did want to mention some things. The only thing that changes from my position where I'm at is usually the water, the tide. And again, on this particular day, the tide was lower than on the days prior to this. Now, I think the video that I talked about was watching Request by Matrix Breakout. I had a series on them, and then I think that was on the 11th. The 12th was In Search of the True Horizon. There was 6 parts to that. Um, and then I just made another video that I haven't uploaded it yet, but I'm making this one, and then I'll upload these two and send you the links to them. Like I said, they'll be unlisted, but uh, you can see how much of these islands get blocked out by refraction. This is refraction, if anything, and this is what they use to say boats are getting cut off, or islands are getting cut off, or buildings are getting cut off. Uh, so the farther away something is, you definitely will not see it at all. Like any boats that are out there, I can't see them right there. There's no way. Number one, they're all cut off, and number two, they're all distorted so bad I can't even fully zoom in on this island. Otherwise, all I get is blah. And then, you got your wiener head globe ball sucking people that will turn around and tell you that you don't know how to focus a camera. So now too, I just put this in for the hell of it. You don't want to watch it, that's fine. Uh, but this was I think almost an hour of footage, sped up 10 times the speed of the sun. Um, and something that I always want to bring up is in some of my footage, you can see the clouds that are below the sun. You can see the underlit clouds all lit up red on those ones that are below the sun. So, how does that work on the globe? The sun's lower than those clouds, so it's shining underneath them? No, it's called reflection, folks. This light is reflecting off the water, back up underneath them far, far distant clouds. Now, as far as I know, those clouds could be over Mexico. Who knows? I wish I was able to go way out there and find out, but I don't think my little flatboat's going to make it across the Gulf of Mexico too easy. So I'll leave that up to somebody else that wants to attempt that in a much, much bigger boat. And they better have a fast one because by the time they get to Mexico, the sun's going to say bye bye. You know, whether or not it's moving at 1,000 miles an hour, that's beside the point, but that's what we're told. Um, or we're told that the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. Um, so I'm just curious: is if I was at the equator, would the sun be moving and setting faster than what it sets for me? Because I'm not quite at the equator. I'm in Florida, so I'm at about 900 miles an hour, somewhere in there. Uh, so it's so Earth is spinning slower for me. And when you get up around Alaska or down in the Antarctic, they say it's it's spinning even slower. So it must take a lot longer time for that sun to set when you're up there in Alaska because of the slow, slow spin of the Earth. But I don't think that there's much difference from what we would see at the equator to Alaska. I don't really think that you're going to see the sun moving much, much, much slower. I mean, you got to think about it, folks. I mean, if you're right on the North Pole, it takes you 24 hours just to do one little 360-degree spin. So, you know, this science, this science that they give us is based on theory. They based it on theory upon theory upon theory, and then they come up with theories to elaborate upon their theories of their theories. So when they come up with their distance to the sun, it had to keep changing because each astronomer would say, no, it's doing this speed, or it's at this speed, no, it's this speed. And, they all had different distance. I'm sorry, not speed, but distance to the sun. So in turn, you uh, they just build upon all these theories in their theoretical model of a globe, but they sold it to us. They sold it to us over 500 years ago, folks. So they got a 500-year start on us flat earthers. But remember, before that, before the Bronze Age, everybody knew the Earth was flat. It wasn't until the Bronze Age that they say that they made the claim that uh, the Earth was a globe. And then, if you didn't buy into it, you were a heretic or you were uh, an evil demon or something, only because you didn't buy into their scheme or their plan. Just like, today, there's a lot of us that we're not buying into the pandemic because we have more sense than they do. And we just can't buy it, can we, folks? All right, thanks for watching. And keep thinking outside that box, especially that TV black box.